Hello everyone, what is up and welcome back to the channel iRumors. So this week marks 1 year of me using and unboxing the 15 Pro Max. Technically it was this Monday, but usually we release videos on Friday, so I just had to use that schedule and that's why I didn't really release it on a Monday. So I just want to give some gap between my videos, so that's why the review is slightly later than a year. Today I'm going to be discussing about my 1 year experience in using this phone, what are the things that I like and what are the things that I don't like about this phone, and in the end we're going to be discussing whether you should be getting the iPhone 15 Pro Max or whether you should be getting the 16 Pro or even the 16 series. Since the 16 series are out right now, we're going to be discussing whether we should even get this 15 Pro Max or whether you should be going for the 16 series, or if you're someone using one of the older phones, should you still stay with it. That's what we're going to be taking a look at this video. Just going to be mostly about me talking about my experience, so just bear with me on that in this review. So with that, let's quickly get started right into the review. Firstly, like in all our reviews, we usually take a look at the hardware. So when we talk about this hardware, there isn't really much for me to explain because it's already a 1 year phone. So what we're going to be taking a look is at the actual phone. How has it held up over the course of this whole 1 year? As you can see right here, the tempered glass screen protector, and if we take a look at this side, my phone pretty much has no scratches, except I think I've already mentioned it in my 6 months review that there's a small scratch over here in the camera, but even that is now really not noticeable. I think once the review was done, I did a quick wipe with alcohol and the mark was gone, so there wasn't even a mark on this phone. Other than this one small tiny little scratch over here, titanium has held up pretty well. I decided not to wipe it down with alcohol before doing this review because I just wanted to show how is the phone after being in a case for 1 year. I don't know if this can be captured on camera, but as you can see here, there's just a lot of dirt all built up over here. It's because of course it's never been taken out of case, and the screen protector has also held up really well because this screen protector was the first one that I ever put. Over a few months back, I actually got a screen protector for this phone, and I thought maybe I would actually need it even before 1 year because usually my old phones I used to drop them. The screen protectors tend to get shattered easily, so I just got another screen protector. But the screen protector that I put on this phone on launch day has just been perfect without any scratches or without any dents or any chips. So technically the new screen protector is just being stored away. Hopefully I'm going to be using it one day. But before we do any other benchmarks, I just want to give a quick overlook on the technical specifications of this phone. I'm not going to go much, I'm just going to be talking about the storage. So mine is 256GB of internal storage, and the color that I'm using is the natural titanium, as you can see right here. I just want to run a quick CPU and GPU benchmark and let's see if things have improved. So now both the tests are done, and now let's quickly take a look at the benchmark. Got a score of 2922 for single core and 7247 for multi-core. If you compare this to our previous scores that we had, say this is a pretty consistent value. So you can see here the last time we did a test, it's got 2890 for single core and 7139 for multi-core. So there is a slight bump in improvement, but overall the trend is the same. So there isn't much in CPU or GPU improvements, but that doesn't mean there are not any other differences in real world usages. I don't have a thermal camera, just the center part of the phone is the one that is heating up, and the heat is also now quickly dissipating away. I can only feel it at the side of the chassis over here, and the heat that I felt on the middle of the chassis is actually now slowly going away. So that is a really good sign. This game definitely isn't much of a graphic intensive game, but as for gaming, I feel like things have actually really improved in the thermals, especially when I play games like Call of Duty. The phone isn't actually heating up just like how it used to previously. Previously, during my initial reviews, I remember mentioning that and this was really heating up very badly. But now currently after using it for 1 year, things have really gotten better, and I feel like the thermals have really improved. Initially, even just scrolling through Instagram was such a hassle. It practically wasn't even possible. The phone just started heating up. I can definitely say that I can comfortably play 2 to 3 battle royale matches in Call of Duty comfortably without having to worry about the phone getting too hot. It does heat up once in a while, but the heat dissipation is actually pretty quick. But sometimes when I do take out my phone out of the case, I actually personally started feeling like the phone actually dissipates heat faster when it's out of the case. Maybe this is not a big surprise for those of you who are using your phone without cases, but I'm someone who usually keeps my phone inside the case throughout the entire time that I'm having it. So for me, it was kind of surprised. So partially, the phone overheating might be maybe because of me putting it inside the case. The next thing that we're going to be taking a look is the battery life of this phone. How has the battery been holding up for me? Here you can see that after 1 year of use, my battery life is at 89 with a cycle count of 346. That's a pretty normal battery cycle, and I've been really using this phone to its maximum potential. And now if you take a look at the And this is me putting the battery life to 100%. I used to say that I used to cap my battery charge limit at 80%, but that just wouldn't cut it. So I decided to just leave it off at 100%, because even putting my battery to a charge limit of 80% for very long, the battery depleting has just been the same. This would have been the same even if I didn't set the battery to 80% limit. Without putting any charging limit, my 30 mini had around the same result. After 1 year, it was about close to 90% or 89%. So I don't really see any difference in that. So I decided to just turn it off. But like I said in all my previous reviews, I'm definitely not getting the same amount of battery life that I got during my battery test video. My battery test, this phone lasted about 12 hours 30 minutes, and I was really thinking this is a battery monster. But now thinking about it, you can see that my screen active time for the past 10 days, let's see the highest day of usage was last Tuesday, about a week ago, and my screen active time was 6 hours 52 minutes. Battery life, I would definitely say it's actually really horrendous. I wish one day Apple brings back the battery life same as the iPhone 13 Pro Max. The 13 Pro series are just a solid in battery life, but this phone, the battery just isn't that good. As for the speakers on this phone, I feel like the speaker quality is actually really good. I would say it's really incredible, but I feel like the speaker quality is actually pretty good. I'm blasting music for a very long time on this speaker, which I don't normally do, but one of the very few times that I do it, I feel like the speaker just still holds up. So we don't talk about anything like the action button or the USB-C port cameras on the 15 Pro Max. And I said in my initial review that the camera, I don't really see much of a difference from my 13 mini to my 15 Pro Max. Yep, I didn't see a difference. And compared it to my S22 Ultra, I could clearly see that my 15 Pro Max was taking much better night mode photos than the latest Samsung phone. That was really surprising to me. Sometimes even some of the shots on my S24 Ultra were kind of dark during the night mode. I would use my 15 Pro Max and that would take a much better night photos. Overall, even though I prefer the photos on my S24 Ultra more compared to my 15 Pro Max, I feel like the night mode is a place where the iPhone 15 Pro Max really shines a lot. I'll put some night mode photos, especially those photos that I took in the dark, for you all to see. So take a look at it and let me know how is it in the comments below. You're already seen all the camera tests, but this is just me. I just want to show all of you the photos that I have taken. So I just want to show all of you. So let's take a quick look.
Yeah.
As for the snappiness and regular usage of this phone, I don't see there's any lag or any stuttering. This is how it has been for the 1 year that I am using this phone. The speed or the regular everyday use has not once gone down in speed. This phone is exactly like how it was I bought 1 year ago. Of course, there have been other areas of improvement. You can see that I'm just scrolling through all the tabs. The phone is just really smooth, so you can see how smooth it is. The USB-C port really makes things really convenient. Of course, I've talked about how it's able to connect to various accessories that I have, and it just uses one charger as my MacBook and as my Android phone, and it's really easy. I've talked about all of that. But now, I just want to talk about one of my unique experiences with the USB-C port alone. This is just a short story. So I downloaded a bunch of movies, and I was actually transferring them between my iPhone 13 mini back to my MacBook, and then from my iPhone 15 Pro Max also back to my MacBook. From my 13 mini back to my MacBook, I just plugged in and I just transferred over as usual. It took about 2 or 3 minutes. But when I plug in my iPhone 15 Pro Max and when I transfer the same file over, I really could feel the speed of the USB-C. It was really much faster compared to Lightning. There was even once I plugged in my external drive to record ProRes videos, so that was really handy. Those were one of the 2 times that I was more impressed about iPhone having USB-C, because before that I didn't really use the USB-C 3 speeds. Now onto the action button. Previously I said that I didn't know what to do with this action button, so I just left it as a mute and on switch and I barely touched it. That was true until I really started exploring the action button, because rather than using just the default actions provided, why not I just tried digging I realized that the one main thing that I always use on my iPhone is YouTube Music. I do have a YouTube Music widget here, but when I click on that, it plays the song that is on the widget. So technically, this widget is there more for aesthetic purposes. When I click on the widget, not because I want the music, but more of I want to open the app. But the widget will just play the song that I pressed on. So what I do, I create a shortcut and position it to my action button for me to open YouTube Music. So I have to just press my action button and bam, there we go. It brings me to my YouTube Music. And I only set this action button to open my YouTube Music about a few weeks ago. So now I'm currently using it more than what I normally used to. But I would really like to push this action button more, but I would definitely maybe in the upcoming days to see what I can do with this action button. If you have seen in all my previous reviews, I would have said that the 15 Pro Max is not the phone that I would recommend. That is usually due to a lot of the heating issue, a lot of the battery life issue. But now I wouldn't say that I'm totally flipping the tables around and I'm gonna say that this is the best phone that you should buy. What I'm saying is the phone is much better. And now when you take a look at the iPhone 16 Pro Max and when you take a look at the iPhone 14 Pro Max, I feel like the 15 Pro Max is sitting at more of a sweet spot, because when you take a look at the 14 Pro Max, it has the old stainless steel design, the old lightning port, and when you look at the 16 Pro Max right now, the only difference is slightly bigger battery, slightly thinner bezels, and the Apple Intelligence, which is not going to come out anytime soon. So when you take a look at it in that way, the iPhone 15 Pro Max is more of in a sweet spot. It is slightly cheaper than the 16 Pro Max for those of you who are looking for titanium design, and it's also more of a slightly cheaper option for those of you who are looking for a Pro model with USB-C. And it also has the dynamic island if that's what you're looking for. If you're thinking of buying the 14 Pro Max, then it also has the dynamic island. So I feel like this is more of a sweet spot. And if you're thinking of upgrading to the iPhone 16 Pro Max just for the new USB-C or the Apple Intelligence, then I would definitely recommend you not to get it and probably go for the iPhone 15 or the iPhone 15 Plus. The 15 Plus is great battery, because 15 Plus has been my recommendation list for very long. If you're having the 15 Pro Max right now, if you're currently using 15 Pro Max right now, then I would definitely tell you to not even upgrade till the iPhone 17 or the iPhone 18. You know how things are really going to be improving. We have to wait and see, but for now, if you're having the 15 Pro Max and if you're thinking of upgrading to the 16 Pro Max, there isn't really any reason for you to just get it. Even me, I'm definitely not buying the iPhone 16 Pro Max this year, because I feel like it doesn't justify the amount of money that I am paying for it. With the such little amount of difference, I don't think I'm going to be I don't think I'm going to be taking out my money to buy the 16 Pro Max. I really feel like it's a waste of money. So the 15 Pro Max is what I'm going to be holding it on for maybe another year or two. So let's see how that goes. So with that, if you're looking for a totally new redesign, totally new look, new colors, the iPhone 16 colors are really great. Maybe you should try the 16 or short, but in the end it comes to your preference, your use case. So that is it. That has been my 1 year review on the 15 Pro Max. Mostly it has all just been refinements. The first time I really trashed it in my review, I really said it was overheating, battery life was bad, things were really not looking good. But now I feel like things are more redefined, things are more sharpened, but it still has a long way to go, a lot more improvements, which I definitely don't think will be coming to this phone. So let's take it with what it is. So that's actually been it for my review. If you like what you remember, click the like button, get subscribed, turn on notifications so you get notified whenever I post a video. Leave in the comments below which phone you're using, or whether if you're changing to iPhone 16 Pro Max. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. So with that, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch all of you in the next one. Bye bye.